What's up, everyone? Game Master 468 bringing you the next part in my Wallace Gromit Fright of the Bumblebees walkthrough. Alright, so if you remember from last time, we just learned that we need to get 3 things.
Let me see. What was I looking for again? Grotien, Energites, Strongium. Not such a long list, really.
And the first thing we're going to get is Grotien, which we're going to get from this guy. This guy's name is Major Crumb, who's kind of a loony pants.
Caught you! Can't take an old soldier by surprise.
Boo!
Morning, Major Crumb.
It is, if you don't mind enemy invasions.
What?
I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Did you get my message? Received intelligence of a major air assault. Expect the sirens to sound any minute. Hope you know where your nearest air raid shelter is.
I do recall something about that, but Major Crumb, are you sure you're not mistaken?
I know. I've made predictions before, but I'm not trying wolf. This time, I've got proof.
Oh yeah, a jar is clearly proof that there's going to be an aerial invasion.
A jar?
It's what's inside the jar that counts. Incontrovertible evidence that the enemy is on the move.
A snail, even
Is
more
it?
ridiculous.
I can only see a snail.
Of course it's a snail. But what's she trying to tell us? That's the important thing.
What is she trying to tell us?
Look at her, man. She's retreated into her shell in the middle of the day. And that means only one thing. It means she knows trouble is about to strike from the heavens. Law of nature, Wallace. Learned it in France during the war. Never wrong yet.
Okay, so let's just take the snail.
Good man, Wallace. I see you at least appreciate the seriousness of the situation. Now, spread the word. If people don't believe what an old soldier has to say, perhaps they'll listen to the snail.
Dude, if they won't listen to you, I'm pretty sure they won't listen to a snail. Okay, we actually have to do this to get Major Crumb to go inside our house. For reasons that I'll explain at a later time. Okay, for now, let's just go into here. And the person you want to show the snail to is Felicia Flint. Felicia, I don't know how it's pronounced, but let's just show it to her.
You've come buzzing back, Mr. Wallace. As a bee to a blossom, eh?
I realize this may seem a trifle irregular, but Major Crumb insisted I show you this.
A snail?
Conveniently goes out of his shell, and this is weird.
Have you lost your mind, Wallace?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
See, Major Crumb ran inside because he thought that Felicia Flint's scream was the siren. That's both weird, random, and funny at the same time. Okay, so let's go inside and find Major
I
Crumb.
wonder where Major Crumb disappeared to.
That's what we're gonna find out, Wallace. Jeez. Okay, he's down in the basement where Gromit and the bees are.
Wallace, thank heavens you made it to the shelter. I'd given you up for lost. Caught in the crossfire, were you?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, let's talk to him.
Pacing about, Wallace.
Oh,
You're making
wait.
the rest of the men nervous.
Grotien Bar, you can see in the corner there. I'm not sure if you're able to read what it says on there, but it clearly says Grotien Bar, and we need Grotien. Let's see if Major Crumb will give us some Grotien bars.
You're looking at my case, aren't you, Wallace?
Well, I suppose I was, Major.
Bet you'd like to know what's inside.
I am curious, yes.
Ah, this case is packed full of government-issue Grotien Bars.
Routine.
Rations, Wallace. Emergency rations for... emergencies, obviously. Been stockpiling them since the war. Enough nutrition in them to feed a man under fire for a whole day.
And very tasty they look too.
Tasty? They're foul, but packed with high-strength protein.
I'd love to try one.
Out of the question, I'm afraid. You don't have clearance. And besides, Grotien Bars are only issued in the event of civil emergencies. Orders are orders, Wallace. By George, this is an emergency. Private Gromit! I hereby issue you one Grotien Bar. Guard it well, and see that it lasts you all day. Wallace, here's one for you as well.
Much obliged.
Alright, so now we got a Grotien Bar. And that's why you have to get him inside, because he says you can't get any unless it's an emergency. And since he thinks that this is an emergency, you're able to get some. Alright, so now that we got a Grotien Bar, we can just walk out casually and just plant it in our nice...
Wait!
What?
Careful, Wallace. You're heading into hostile territory. The enemy has clearly landed, and most likely set up camp in West Wallaby Street. Who knows what the Blighters have done to our once peaceful neighborhood? If you make it back alive, you'll have to give us a full report. In the meantime, eat your
What?
protein
Wait,
rations.
no, wait, oh, jeez!
Protein will keep your strength up, especially if you're captured. Brave lad! We'll keep the home fires burning.
Dude, that's not right! You don't force feed someone a bar! Gah!
You see, Private Gromit, I told you he'd make it back to us alive. Our Wallace is a fighter. Bagged a few of those blighters, did you?
Okay, so, as we clearly guessed, we can't get any Grotien Bars unless Major Crumb leaves this room.
What's the news from above, citizen?
If you want-
Chaos and destruction?
Anyways, and how you get him out of the room, well, you can find that out if you talk to Major Crumb.
You've got to get your mind off the carnage up there. Would you like to hear one of my own war stories? I'd help pass the time.
Well, I hate to...
Of course you would. I brought visual aids.
Oh, awesome! Let's look at these pictures.
What a face.
That's me kitted out for heavy combat. That helmet took many a dent before the war was through. Without it, I could have become seriously loopy.
Take my advice, Wallace. Never go into battle without a regulation helmet like the one in this picture.
I could have...
Who's that fellow?
That's me as a young recruit, off to basic training. How I cried when they cut off my golden curls. But I cheered up as soon as they issued me with a beautiful set of dog tags. Dashed useful dog tags. If you happen to forget your rank or name, you've got it right there. Never go into battle without your dog tags, Wallace.
And the last picture's not important, but yeah. So as you can clearly guess, we need to give Major Crumb those two things, as well as someone to guard the Grotien Bars when he leaves. We have both items, the helmet and the dog tags. Let's give him the helmet first. Remember, this was the lid that we got off of the hive thing? Let's give it to him.
I thought you might
Hive wood,
find
yes.
this useful, Major Crumb.
A helmet! By George, Wallace, there's nothing like a good helmet. Makes a fellow want to put himself in the path of projectiles. If you know what I mean.
Sounds
All
like
right.
you were quite a soldier, Major Crumb.
Well, Wallace, why the past tense?
Oh dear.
Once a soldier, always a soldier. Something you civilians will never grasp. And I'd be happy to prove it by charging into the fray. That is, if I had a sturdy helmet, which I have.
but I couldn't go into battle until I'd been officially recommissioned. And I'd need to find someone to take charge of this shelter and distribute the Grotien Bars.
Alright, now we can talk to Gromit and ask him to take charge.
Gromit could do the job.
Private Gromit? Can I entrust my precious cache of Grotien Bars to a Pongo? Perhaps so. He's proven himself a trusty foot soldier. Yes. If I am called away to the front, I'd feel comfortable leaving Private Gromit in charge. But I haven't been recommissioned.
Alright, so let's recommission you by giving you Gromit's dog tags.
I found these in the hall, Major
Dog
Gromit.
tags! I've been recommissioned! Bound to happen, of course. Can't leave good military material sitting on the shelf. My place is in the trenches. Oh,
All right.
heavens. I shouldn't be skulking around in a cellar like a frightened rat. I'm a soldier, by thunder! Private Gromit, I hereby appoint you officer commanding this air raid shelter. Here, you pass out the rations. I've got a war to win. Charge!
Alright. Problem solved. Now you can't take the Grotien Bar out of the suitcase directly. You have to talk to Gromit and ask him yourself.
Request dispensation of Grotien Bars, soldier.
Alright. And that is one item down, 2 items to go. In the next video, we're going to get the next item on our list.